My God, I hate drugs.
Labor officials are set to announce new minimum wage rates this month to address increasing prices of basic goods and services. Is this really good news? Our Rex Remito reports the move may force retailers like supermarkets to raise prices even more.
Labor Undersecretary Jing Para says new minimum wage rates will take effect across the country before June ends. This after Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello has tasked regional wage boards to study a wage hike as consumer prices jack up.
The wage board has already met and they're now coming up with their recommendation. So pretty soon, magkakaroon na po tayo ng issuance kung magkano ba yung itataas.
Para says regional wage boards will submit their final recommendations to Bello as soon as he returns to the country. But one thing is for sure, the proposed 750 peso legislated national minimum wage is a no-go unless passed by Congress.
Magkaiba-iba po yung mga region, no? Hindi po pare-pareho ang economic activity.
But an association of supermarkets says the wage increase may trigger a domino effect and force their members to slightly hike product prices. This is apart from their planned gradual price hikes spurred by the tax reform law.
So because of that, all will have to adjust their margins. When that happens, it's not just the manufacturer who adjusts their margin. Some operations like retail outlets may have to adjust margins too.
The association's president, Stephen Kua, also manages a supermarket near Welcome Rotonda in Manila. Kua says small and medium players like him are caught in the middle. Recently, they increased prices of their goods because of higher taxes. But higher prices also drive consumers to buy products from bigger players that offer the same at lower prices. So, they have no choice but to settle with moderate price hikes for less profit and downsize their operations.
So we're seriously considering closing this whole section para pauban na lang sa tao. We'll just get rental income na lang rather than carry all these products. We used to have 9 checkout counters. Now we have 5, no?
The Trade Department, just like the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, believes the inflation rate in general will go down in the coming months. The DTI is also appealing to manufacturers and retailers to stay within suggested retail prices.
Kung pwede po, maliit lang because this will be part of the computation sa minimum wage na itataas.
But for Kua, because of limited profits, the SRP can also potentially kill small and medium supermarket owners like him. Rex Remito, CNN, Philippines.
The Philippines is among the world's top worst countries for working people. That's according to a survey of the International Trade Union Confederation Global Rights Index. The others on the top 10 list are Algeria, Bangladesh, Cambodia, Colombia, Egypt, Guatemala, Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey. Among the common indicators of poor working conditions in these countries are mass arrests, state repression, arrest of union leaders, and discrimination. 142 countries were evaluated due to, quote, intimidation and dismissals, violence and repressive laws, unquote. Philippines was also on the list last year. Moving on to another story, the Supreme Court is set to decide soon if it will uphold the ouster of Maria Lourdes Sereno as Chief Justice. But how's the tribunal doing without Sereno at the helm as it celebrates its 117th anniversary today? Our Anjo Alimario reports.
Business as usual. That's the assurance of Acting Chief Justice Antonio Carpio. He says the Supreme Court, minus ousted Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, is functioning normally with only 14 justices deciding on cases. He says the High Court will hand down its final ruling on Sereno's quo warranto case, hopefully this month. They are governed by the rule of majority, and that's how democracy works, he explains. Carpio voted with 5 other justices to junk the ouster case against Sereno, but they lost to 8 of their colleagues who wanted to unseat the chief magistrate. Whatever the court decides, Carpio says, they just have to accept it.
The Supreme Court is an institution. We are functioning normally. We have been deciding cases normally. We will be holding oral arguments normally. So we are doing our work normally. The Supreme Court decides and we just must follow. I belong to the minority. I lost, but that's it. I mean, you win, you lose, but we are governed by the rule of the majority. That's how our democracy works. Whether it's correct or wrong, we just have to accept it because that's how we can move on.
Carpio says they will decide on Sereno's fate soon because they also want to move on. Anjo Alimario, CNN Philippines.
Sereno is no longer in the Supreme Court website. CNN Philippines checked the site and Sereno's name and photograph have been removed. The space allotted for the Chief Justice now only shows the Supreme Court logo. The Court of Appeals has ruled that fees paid to government's private lawyers in its arbitration case against the builder of the NAIA Terminal 3 are illegal. The case is more commonly known as the PIATCO case. PIATCO stands for the Philippine International Air Terminals Company. The appellate court says the government violated policy in hiring foreign lawyers. It adds the government irregularly procured the services of private lawyers, including former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. The total cost of the arbitration proceedings amounted to $6 million, including litigation expenses and attorney's fees. The court ruled that there is no justification for the government to hire foreign law firms for the case. It pointed out the Office of the Solicitor General is more familiar with Philippine laws. The CA also says that the government's arbitration expenses were not only irregular and unnecessary, but also extravagant, excessive, and unconscionable. President Duterte took a swipe at Sereno yet again after she called his firing of officials a gimmick. Mr. Duterte spoke about Sereno as he opened the new Mactan Airport and Terminal in Cebu yesterday. Back in April, the president had said Sereno is his enemy. Just last month, Sereno's colleagues in the Supreme Court ousted her in an 8-6 vote on a quo warranto petition filed by Solicitor General Jose Calida. He's the president in his own words.
Sereno is a lost cause. She had it coming, she asked for it. Yan ang nangyari sa kanya. Now that she's out, she's full of adjectives and gimmickry. Mga justices, may utak yan, abogado kagaya mo, gimmick. I don't believe her. And I don't respect her also. Puro gimmick. Siya yung gumigimik. Kami yung tatrabaho.
We go above and beyond the headlines with the spokesperson of former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, Jojo Lacanila. Welcome to Newsnight, sir.
Hi, Pia. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Well, I suppose, we're sure that you've gotten used to this by now. Every now and then the president has choice words for Mrs. Sereno. So this is nothing new for you, right?
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Well,
yes, he has choice words, but, you know, Chief Justice will not be trading barbs with him. Chief Justice is focused on her agenda of judicial independence, rule of law, justice, and she will speak out on issues that she thinks that she has a voice on, and she has freedom of speech. She thinks is wrong, and I think that she will be daunted by any harsh words coming from the highest official of the land.
Well, sir, we expect a decision by the Supreme Court on this motion for recon filed by Mrs. Sereno middle of the month. How do you honestly think the court will decide?
Well, we don't know yet. Everything is speculation for now because they still have a lot of days to think through it. We don't know what will happen. We are hoping against hope, but we also recognize that it's a slim chance, so we will see. However, we cannot make any sort of pronouncement on it until the Supreme Court has already made its official pronouncement. So for now, we're just kind of waiting as like everyone else.
A slim chance. How slim?
Yeah, normally. Well, people who study this say that the reversal of decision by MR is about 10%. I don't know the ads. I don't want to put ads on anything, but we know that it's not, it's a slim chance, but there is hope all the time, and we're happy that the court suspended or delayed and asked the Office of the Solicitor General to actually comment on it for 5 days, and I think they're due to comment on Monday. But we don't know. I mean, what will happen, and we're just kind of hoping for the best.
Why don't you, some people would say, why don't you just throw in the towel?
We cannot throw in the towel because a lot of people are looking at how the Chief Justice is going to fight this battle of her life, and she's not going to back down. We have said that she's not going to be resigning at all, and that's been her position since day one, and she's not going to change, especially the last few days of,
All right.
the process that we're looking.
Well, let's say the Supreme Court says that, Mrs. Sereno, sorry, but we're not going to reverse our decision on this. You are losing, you lost with finality. Is a run for the Senate something already in the works, or is it a sure thing for Maria Lourdes Sereno?
Well, that's a bridge too far for her, actually, Pia, at this point. She has not made a decision for now. The answer is no, because she's focused on the motion for reconsideration, so she's not there yet. But we will see what will happen, what will be the platform in case she's ousted finally by the Supreme Court. She has her own advocacies, and she will find her own platform to actually say what she wants to say about the country.
Okay, but she will have 4 months to decide if she is going to run for the Senate. Filing of certificates of candidacy is October this year for the 2019 elections.
Yeah, that's very hypothetical for now. We don't know yet, Pia. Waiting for June 19 for the court to actually make a decision.
Yeah, hypothetical, but not enough time, huh? But anyway, just one last question. Just a while ago, we were reporting the Court of Appeals ruling as illegal fees paid to government lawyers for the Piatco case. And one of those lawyers, of course, Maria Lourdes Sereno. What is your comment on this? What do you think of this decision?
Well, let's make it perfectly clear for everyone that the Chief Justice is not a party to this case. It's the case between the government and Piatco, and the process is going on. But the Chief Justice herself is not a personal party to the case, and we should not drag her into it. So she doesn't know what's going on in that case. She's not being informed about it officially because she's not a party to the case.
Although the decision says, the ruling is that the fees paid to government's private lawyers in this arbitration case are illegal.
Well, the Chief Justice was engaged in good faith by the government at that time. She served her function very well. In fact, the team of lawyers won for the government, and this allowed about $2 billion as claims by Piatco. And so she was engaged, she did her job, she was paid, and whatever is happening between the government and Piatco right now, she's really not a party to it in this case.
All right, sir. Jojo Lacanilao, thank you very much, sir, for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
We appreciate all your online comments on our top stories tonight. Keep them coming to our pages at CNN Philippines. We're also live right now.